Call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Shane.
Here.
Greg.
Here.
Chad.
Here.
Keith.
Here.
Matt. Ryan. Gail.
Approval of minutes from regular meeting held May 13th, 2000.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes from the meeting held May 13th, 2026. Second.
Roll call, please.
Keith.
Yes.
Chad.
Yes.
Greg.
Yes.
Shane.
Yes. Approval of minutes from special meeting held June 3rd, 2026.
I make a motion to approve the minutes. I second.
Roll call, please.
Chad.
Yes.
Keith.
Yes.
Shane.
Yes.
Greg.
Yes.
Discussion on financial statements from
Oh,
May, June, and July.
It went down to the city council report. That's, sorry.
Oh.
It's there.
Yeah,
It's just
it-
down to number 6. Sorry. That is my fault.
So the June 30th was the end of the year.
Yes.
So on our budget, the only one like that sticks out is this intergovernmental. What exactly is that? That second line item?
That is any grants. That's just, which month are you looking at?
The June 30th.
June 30, okay, just making sure. That's grants. That's the only thing that was in there. We got the lighting grant.
Okay.
And we will be, at city council, there's going to be budget amendments to end the fiscal year, so that last $530,000 will go back to zero because we didn't get any other grants, so.
So in July, doesn't have anything there. Will we see something in August for an expectation of future
I mean, I
grants?
can rerun the reports for June if you want. It won't reflect on fiscal year 27 reports. The July is the normal.
Had to go down.
So on the first page,
I don't.
sure it's always been this way. Revenue's the top and
Yes.
expenditures at the bottom. That's not, is that a total of everything we spent? That's what we did.
In June, Greg's up.
In June.
Well, look at the June, but if you put expenditures, that's what we spent. Like that's what we spent in the pool, that's what we spent out here.
That's, yes. That's where you're pointing to.
So this is what?
Yeah, so this is year-to-date. So year-to-date, the ARC spent 772.
Out here.
Yes, and year-to-date, that was the pool. And then that's just the monthly for, like, this would be June, right
Does
here.
that include pool 9 months?
Yes,
Okay.
that's what the pool payment,
Okay.
yes, sir.
Thank you.
That's on my computer, so I never go to save.
I just noticed, I just happened to look up.
I would tell you, I mean, as far as discussion on financial reports, Sadie and I are looking, into how we might be able to present a better, it's one thing to look at the numbers, it's another thing to, what do the numbers mean? And so we're working on, what we could do with reports we're able to generate out of Encode versus, what's the meaningful information in this. July, for instance, the first month of the year, if we, entire budget, we'd expect to have spent 8% and brought in 8%, where that gets a little bit different with seasonal activities like with Parks and Recreation. We kind of want to frame it in a better way rather than just looking at the numbers, we're able to say we're on track or we're not on track, things like that. Because we're on track, if you look at July just in and of itself, about 8% of our budgeted expenses, but our revenue was not 8% of our budgeted revenue. And so we're going to work on trying to get something a little bit more meaningful, but we still give you the income statements and all of that, but something that
Shows you the breakdown of everything. I'm not a big fan of in-code reports. Everything that I want to do anything, I have to manually move it into Excel to calculate. That makes a big, chance for an error or a formula dropping off, which Excel is prone to do, and that makes me uncomfortable. But I have been, because I'm even looking at trying to do something new for Finance Committee for City Council, so I'd like to do that with any boards that have financials to review and do the same thing across the board.
Okay, so back on the June 30th, revenue summary. Forecast 600,000, it came in right there. So that's all part of the sales tax, correct? So it's looking miscellaneous, 3 million.
that was
That was the budget fund balance that should have never been there. So that will be also a budget amendment that will bring it to zero because you didn't,
It won't bring it completely to zero because there was activity there, but there was a significant portion of that previous administration plugged into the line item that was supposed to be reflective of fund balance, so the money that we had left over from previous years, and it was not an accurate number.
So that 261,000 year to date, what makes up that on the miscellaneous?
You got the details, Sadie?
yeah. So there was just a random miscellaneous of 9330, ball field donations of 10,700.
Okay, so it's donation.
Donations for the pool, that was from the CD, 250,000, and then a $100 donation, and then a 911 for field hay that was leased out. And then we didn't do anything with the 3 million because we did not transfer that from fund balance. So that should have been a better budget. So that budget, 3 million, the budget, not an actual, will go down to zero.
So it's just a budget, not revenue.
Yeah. So we have our annual budget, like what we project to do, and then you have your actuals.
I got you.
That will not be the case this coming budget,
Okay.
though.
I-
That you will on July.
And it was throughout, and we reported this to City Council, but altogether there were somewhere in the neighborhood of real errors and omissions resulting in about $1.3 million to the city's financials that we've had to find, correct, and determine the proper path forward. So
Yeah.
the numbers, Sadie and I are on top of it.
Yes. It will get better from here on out and smoother.
And we'll be in a spot that if we are, ahead of schedule, we'll have ideas on, what projects we can add into our budget. If we're behind schedule, we'll have ideas on what we need to cut back on.
Yeah.
When you guys are doing that, making it a little simpler or easier to see and articulate, some historical data would be helpful. Right. The last 2 Julys, or the last July versus this July, something with historical data would be beneficial.
I do something similar with that with tourism. Like I compare what they brought in June of last year to June of this year and year to date, what the difference is. And then I kind of do that with the airport with their fuel and expense log. It compares what they were at last year. So I can definitely do something. I already have something like that created.
The previous year data
But so like,
But we will have that.
For
System.
going forward.
so going off like projections, when you look at these charges for services, even like the pool gate this year was $50,908, the year before was zero. So going into the budget, that's more along the lines, you'll be expecting around 50 grand.
We're hoping, yes.
Okay.
Um,
Just, I mean, just looking at some of this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, last year we didn't open until the end of June.
And pool, so I did, so pool gate for June, end of June was 50,000. Pool gate at the end of July was already sitting at 7,300. And then I did grab some numbers for pool. As of August, between everything, they brought in about $10,300 so far for just for August.
Oh,
only.
right.
That doesn't add into any of the other numbers.
So, we thought we were gonna have different financials for the pool, maybe we do in here.
You do. It has to stay in Fund 55, so it is mixed together. It takes the Parks and Rec, but there are its own revenue line
July,
items.
it is July.
Yes, ma'am.
Look on page 6, you'll notice that is swimming pool expenditures.
Okay.
So that is 556, and then from the very front page, you can tell like what the expenses are for the pool year to date, and then what the ARC was. And then the revenue is broken out between pool gate, pool concessions, and pool general, which is like their pool parties and anything else.
So just doing, you know, we showed a shortfall here for the year in June of 388 grand. But when you look on page 6 of this, our payment on our principal payment is $27,468 a month on the pool. Is that correct? When we look at that on page 7
I believe that's correct.
of the July?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna do it.
And we did have that final payout to last year and that last fiscal year that wasn't budgeted in here, that should have been, that we ended up having to pay, so that kind of put the budget over as well. That won't happen again this year.
So what page, is there a separate page for the pool gate and concession?
Yeah,
It's just lumped in.
That's on page, yeah, it's on page 2, but all revenue is lumped together.
Okay.
But it has its own line item, so we can at least
Yeah, let's
split
say
it out.
general and then gate. Now, the general is more parties and stuff and things
Yeah.
like that.
Facility rental, they rent the room.
So the pool doesn't even break even before pool payments.
No.
I don't think, I mean, it'll be hard for it to,
That's what I was running the math when the payment was gone.
yeah, it won't. I think that's pretty standard anywhere.
Sure.
Some other data that I think would have value is going by weekends of when we have tournaments and what the pool
Yeah, look at
session,
those
pool
numbers.
gate is, and being able to have something to compare and look at as other revenue that's being generated in that time when it's being generated.
I can do that.
The
And that
number of
would be
teams in
something
a
I can look
tournament,
for.
the size of the tournament, baseball versus softball, some of that type of stuff would be interesting to dive into
Yeah.
a little bit.
We could do that, because I know when obviously the tournament weekends are, and then the pool, I can be like, well, the pool
Go back
ride,
and look at these.
this, yeah.
One of my favorite moments at the pool this year, kind of off topic a little bit, but it was a tournament weekend and his family was there, his dog was out of town, and this kid goes and he runs in real quick and he's throwing on his uniform and his mom's carrying the cleats as they're running out of the pool to get over to the game, and like that's kind of what we had in mind a little bit. It was something, the little they had a younger sibling that was just loving every second of it. It was a neat thing to see. On the pooled cash, in June, the pooled cash bank, account AEDA in the investment areas, 47,877.20 in June, and then in July, it was 155 what?
We finished paying back the final payment from the general fund for the engineering cost. That's done, that will not go forward anymore. Then that was, after all the expenses that they had for July, that was what was left. I did grab, as of right now, the pooled cash balance is $49,121 for August. You guys, because you just got sales tax, but that won't be the same number at the end of August. We still have another payroll and expenses. Yeah, so that, it's up right now for August, but we still have a couple more weeks, so.
Any further questions on the financials? All right. Move on to director's report.
Okay. So we haven't met since May, so we've had quite a bit going on. Our tournaments went great. I did send Sadie the final numbers of how many teams and everything that we had, so she's going to move that money over from the tournament, from that account over. But we had a lot better year as far as number of teams this year than we did the year before. Swimming pool is going good. We're only going to be open on weekends now, and I think we've got a party every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday until the end of August. And August 30th will be our last day of being open there.
Even if it's still 100.
Huh?
Even if it's still 100 degrees.
Yeah. Let's hope it's
Her
not.
staff think they need to go to school and stuff.
Yeah, I think they do. We do have football, or flag football, soccer sign-ups going on right now. The deadline for that is Friday. Numbers are looking pretty good. Of course, I'll get a lot more after Friday. I set up 4 fall tournaments, 2 for softball and 2 for baseball. So we'll see how those numbers go. It'll be second, third, and fourth weekend in September and the first weekend in October for those. Middle school's going to start playing their games out here next week. The first game is on Thursday. We'll run concessions for them on that. They do run gate. They keep their gate, go back to the school. We do run concessions for them on that. Brad did come to me and ask thoughts on putting stadium seats under the press box behind home plate. I told him that, I mentioned it to you guys and let you guys, do some thinking. I think it would look nice.
Do a couple rows or anything.
Yeah, he didn't really say, he just said, hey, what do you think? And I said, I think it'd be great. I said, but I'll present it to my board. So, actually, you could probably, I don't know if you could go 3. You could probably go 2 without someone standing up. Well, Shane probably couldn't stand up on the front row, or on the top row, but.
Permanent.
Make
Skull
that-
on top of my head.
Make that road for me.
The other thing he did ask is, was there any more talk on the dugouts? You want to move them down? Leave them where they're at, if we push them down further to the outfield. I don't know everybody's thoughts on that. So they're not in the way of people seeing the field around them.
I'd like to see him move down. But what's your thought?
I think move down and be able to see around it a lot better. And I think they could do that. They could move it down, they have to pour a little bit more concrete there on the north side, or, the third base side, and then the east side of the other side, but I think it would make a big difference. So, I'll get with him again and see, what they're thinking on that. He brought it to me, so obviously it's in talk, so. The other thing that was brought to me that, I don't know if you guys know that there's a disc golf club, and they put up temporary disc golf course in the park, and they do that every Tuesday night. Like I said, they've been getting a pretty good crowd. He did bring to me a number that they would like to be able to do permanent disc golf stands and like hole signs. And real nice hole signs that says, the distance how the course goes and all of that. That is a $12,500 number he put together for all of that. I did talk to Stephanie about a grant. The grant we were looking at, we do not qualify, but she's going to look around a little bit more to see if there's a grant that would help pay for that. I know there's a master plan out there, but we all know that that's going to take forever. And I think we could probably work around their permanent disc golf when it came. They're basically on that north side of the park is where they keep that. So we have had some vandalism in the park recently. Cops are, they know they're going to be patrolling down there a lot more. So I'm going to hold on that.
Are there cameras down there on that building? Down there by. I didn't know if there were cameras on the building down there by Hatfield.
Did you say the F word?
Did you hear what he said? He said there's block cameras down there. No.
They can move down there.
We're working on a grant for the lights again.
I think we're going to have a year off on that one.
Every other year.
We've done it 2 years in a row, is the way I understand it, and so she thinks that they won't award it this year.
So can you still try?
Yeah, she's still gonna try with it.
We got it 2 years in a row around here.
Well, the city got like 2 years in a row. Sorry, you guys got it, and then,
Okay.
Was the disc golf, were they seeking that money from us?
Yes, they were seeking that from us to help out their organization, see if we could work out a deal.
There'd be tee boxes and signage.
And we can pull out that draft of the master plan for Hatfield Park, and just, if there's anything in there that we're certain that we are going to want to do that, we can say, we'll work around this, or if there's, people have been wanting that for several years now. And it's an easy one, even if we had to change it later on down the road, it's not an expensive thing to change a disc golf course.
And obstacles are not a bad thing
Right.
in disc golf, so if something is in the way,
that's
Yeah.
part
We
of
just need
it.
to make sure that it's not going to be,
kids are.
yeah.
But I'll keep you guys up to date if Stephanie does find a grant or if we kind of figure out when we'll get it off the back. I'm probably gonna have to hire like 2 more part-timers out here. We had one, we actually had 2 that left after school was out. We did okay over the summer a little bit, had some volunteers. But I know that I'm going to have to hire 2 more people to get through the fall and summer and spring season. So it's not anybody extra, it's not extra hours, it's just new people to fill their hours. So I'll be putting that out probably the first week. We'll be there.
How many hours a week is it?
It's usually right around anywhere from 20 to 25. And it depends on what's going on
Yeah.
during that week. Yeah. Yeah, the fall ball tournaments, if anybody does ask, it is posted on OK Ball, and, we've got that out there, and I've had some feedback, that's good. Anything else? Oh, I do have to get a new ice machine. Just saying that. We have to get a new ice machine, we're getting some quotes from everybody, but it's probably $4,500 to $5,000 for that. The ice machine out here has been here for
28 years.
I've only been here 23. It has, this, not 28. It's probably been here 23. So it is old. So we will, there'll be a big expense right there. But
Earned its retirement.
well, we do need it because we use it for injuries, and we use it for snow cones, and we use it for water outside. So it's much needed. I think that's about all.
City council report.
The last council meeting, his position and Blake will switch over. I mean, have several agenda items on other things that are just relevant to zoning and property use and lot cameras and stuff. Any questions regarding city council?
Remarks, inquiries by board members.
You want to do 8 before 7?
No, that's what I did under 6.
Move to 8 and then come back to 7. Discussion and possible action to move to quarterly commission meeting beginning January 2027.
Courtney and I talked about this, and prior to the undertaking of the pool construction project, you guys were meeting quarterly. There wasn't a whole lot of, we haven't met in how many months, and there wasn't a whole lot on this agenda, and so we're just thinking that we can probably go back to that schedule if it's acceptable to the board. The regular meetings are already posted for this year, this calendar year, but we can go ahead and implement that any time. But when we put together the schedule for 2027, we would only put 4 meetings on the calendar. But if you guys wanted to, there wasn't any business discussed, we'll stick to canceling the regular meetings for the remainder of this year, except for once a quarter.
And if something does come up that's big, we can always do a special meeting and call that at, 48 hours, and then if it's major. And then, so we do have that.
So we're take a pay cut too?
Yes, yes.
33% pay cut. 66% pay cut.
And I think that maybe if we go quarterly too, maybe we can get everybody here.
They don't get paid.
It's all volunteer.
But that's totally up to you guys.
What do you guys thoughts?
I'm okay with it. I think there's a project and we can always make adjustments.
Like as long as we have Courtney here running it.
There's no reason.
No.
So we need a motion.
I'd make a motion to move the Parks and Rec board meetings to quarterly.